Her voice cracked through the phone like a blade dragged across glass. "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes," my daughter-in-law shouted. No greeting, no hesitation. Just entitlement wrapped in arrogance. I stared at the half-packed suitcase on my bed, passport on top, boarding pass glowing on my screen. Switzerland. Snow polished like glass. Silence carved into mountains. My villa waiting with its heated floors and unapologetic luxury. "Enjoy," I said simply, and ended the call. The word tasted like a sealed coffin final. Quiet, absolute. Minutes later, my phone trembled. Once. Then again. Then the vibrations became a storm. 71 missed calls. The greedy shrew had finally seen the photos. The villa, the private lake, the panoramic balcony overlooking a world she believed she deserved but never earned. She thought I was the lonely old fool who needed to beg for a seat at their table. She had no idea the table was mine. Always had been. I breathed slowly. I remembered the last betrayal I swallowed for the sake of peace, my wife in the bathtub with my best friend. The quiet click of the lock. The silent phone calls. The calm before a controlled demolition. People mistake silence for weakness. They forget silence is where calculations are made. Tonight, I could already feel another demolition taking shape. And this time, I wasn't even angry. Just ready. The entitlement hadn't started today. It had been dripping for years. The first time, she smirked at the price of the gift I brought. The first time she rolled her eyes when I asked about my grandson. The first time she said, "We'll let you know if we need help," as if I were a spare tire kept for emergencies. My son, caught in her orbit, repeated her words like gospel. Soft-spoken, diminished. He never used to sound that way. But I remained silent. Not out of kindness. Out of discipline. The same discipline that kept me composed the night I discovered my wife's betrayal. The same discipline that turned heartbreak into a weapon of precision. So when my daughter-in-law demanded I wash dishes for permission to attend Thanksgiving, something shifted. It wasn't fury. It wasn't pride. It was recognition. This was another person who mistook my gentleness for absence of strength. Another who believed they could take without ever being tested. When the photos of the villa posted to my private account, snow-drenched roofs, warm amber lighting inside, the kind of wealth that glows quietly, I expected her to notice eventually. I didn't expect her to unravel instantly. Messages poured in. "Is this yours? Why didn't you tell us? We could have planned a trip. Call me back. This is serious." Then a final one. "You should have told us. We're family." Family. A word people love to weaponize when they want access to your possessions. I looked out the window. Evening settling like a bruise across the sky. She didn't want family. She wanted opportunity disguised as affection. I sighed and zipped my suitcase shut. Let her panic. Let her wonder. I already knew exactly how this would end. I spent the flight listening to the soft hum of engines while my phone shook every hour. I didn't answer. Not a single call. Not a single message. Silence is the first step in rebalancing power. When I landed in Zurich, her desperation had evolved. "We're coming for New Year's. The kids would LOVE Switzerland. We deserve to spend time together. You owe us." There it was. The truth always slips eventually. She believed I owed them access to a life I built brick by brick, alone, while they criticized, mocked, and dismissed. I walked into the villa. Warm air embraced me. The view unfolded mountains like frozen waves. I made tea and sat by the balcony, letting the steam brush my face while the evening glowed gold. I replayed her words in my mind. Wash the dishes. Be grateful. Ask permission. She treated my presence like a burden until she realized what my absence looked like. Wealth is funny that way. It reveals character more brutally than truth ever can. Over the next 2 days, I posted nothing new. No replies. No explanations. Just silence. Predictable psychology: when deprived of information, the greedy grow paranoid. On the 3rd day, my son finally called. His voice was small. Dad, she didn't mean it. He sounded like a child, standing between a fire and an exit. I know, I said, because that was the point. Intent doesn't matter. Behavior does. I heard her in the background, whispering instructions she assumed I couldn't hear. Tell him we're coming. Tell him to prepare the rooms. He owes us his family. She still didn't understand. People like her never understand until they walk face first into the wall they built around themselves. I leaned back, exhaled, and waited for the inevitable moment she would cross the final line. It arrived 2 hours later. Confirmed the dates. We'll stay for 3 weeks. You'll cover flights. After everything we've done for you, it's the least you can do. Everything they've done for me. I almost laughed. The demolition plan completed itself in my mind, quiet, sharp, perfect. That evening, I finally replied. 3 words. Check your email. She opened the file instantly. Bank statements, property records, the private trust, the beneficiary list. All cold, all factual, all irrefutable. Not a single cent NOTONA was allocated to my son or her. Instead, line after line showed one name: my grandson, the only innocent in their house, the only one who never looked at me with calculation. I heard her scream through the phone as she called. You bypassed us. You put everything under that child's name? You can't do that? We're the parents. Her panic was a sweetness I hadn't tasted in years. I already did, I said calmly. What about us? She gasped. A pause. A long, surgical pause. You made your position clear, I replied. I'm only returning the courtesy. She broke. Fully. Loudly. Pathetically. My son tried to intervene, voice cracking, but I stayed silent. Silence again, doing all the work. When they realized I would not explain, not negotiate, not justify, the truth finally reached them. This wasn't punishment. It was correction. I sent the final message at dawn, when the mountains were still blue with sleep. It contained 3 photos. 1. Me on the balcony, untouched breakfast beside me. 2. My grandson's trust papers with my signature. 3. A single empty plate in the villa kitchen sink. The caption: if you want a place in my life, learn to wash your own dishes. No anger. No insults. Just truth wrapped in irony she could no longer ignore. Her calls came again, a frantic swarm, but this time I didn't silence them. I blocked her. Then my son. Clean. Simple. Precise. A removal of noise. Within minutes, my phone was still again. Peace returning like an old friend. I stood on the balcony as snow began to fall, soft flakes descending with more grace than any human I had cut from my life. I felt no triumph, no guilt, only clarity. Entitlement rots relationships faster than betrayal ever could. At least betrayal requires desire. Greed requires nothing but hunger. Across the silence of the valley, I realized something simple. Some people don't deserve access to your life. Some don't even deserve explanations.